What up, everybody? Lonnie here with Charts and Labs. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a Sunday fun day. Um, saw an opportunity this morning. I wanted to get in here and get myself some more TXC. If you've been following along in the series of what's going on, I was day trading throughout the week, Monday through Friday. I make my profits, I bring it to crypto, and build my crypto portfolio mainly in TXC. Um, I want to before we get into this and start doing too much though, I want to remind everybody this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Um, make sure you are doing this with your own money as you wish, as you see fit. I'm just trying to add some familiarity so you have some comfort with this. I already did the transfer because sometimes it takes longer and sometimes it is quicker, but I had $500 sitting in my Robinhood account as buying power, and I just transferred it over, and I've already converted it uh, into USDT. So we already skipped all those steps. The $500 USDC transfer, and then being converted into USDT leaves me with 497.4 USDT. And we're just going to do some market buys here. We're going to do a $47 buy. If you guys watched the Zoom call last night, Bobby is saying that this week signifies the bottom. And what he's talking about is not that the price has bottomed and it is never going to go lower than this, because you cannot guarantee the market. Crypto itself is a very speculative market, and you have to know that it's gonna that it can go as it wants to, and can be very erratic at times. So knowing that crypto is already a very speculative market, you don't know what the price can be or what it's going to do. Um, can't guarantee nothing in that, and also there's nothing that you can guarantee in life. Um, so he's not necessarily calling the bottom in the price, but it's the bottom in terms of in performance, we could say. Sales have been down. It's coming to the end of that crypto winter, the network sales winter, that slows down so much from the holiday hangover and all those things that kind of eat at people's um, expendable money. And uh, there were some things that TXC has done along the way that ended up being, a little bit of an Achilles heel or weight bearing that were negative in performance regards, and they recognize that and they're fixing it. It's been a very refreshing week of these Zoom calls that we've heard from Bobby. He came every single day to present to what's going on and tell us, that things are going to get better. Things that should have been set up from the beginning that they overlooked are now recognized, and they're going to build those. So very refreshing to see all that. And if that doesn't give you confidence to jump in the market and grab some at $1, the call last night, he made a point to address that the value is in the market right now. If you're gonna go buy, if you're only getting 0.4 coins a day with $1,000 mining seat, you could buy a month or a year's worth of coins right now. A year's worth of coins is 180 coins. $200 is gonna buy you a year's worth of mining. And here I am. I just purchased nearly $500 worth. So did I just buy myself 2 years of mining, 3 years of mining rewards? Because as the mine fills out, that number is also going to come down a little bit. It's acting like it's wanting to rebalance a little bit here. Let's see what we got going on before I do my last 50. Because I'm going to eat that whole order book here in a second on the buy side. average price of 97 cents. So I just purchased all those with a 97 cent or below average. It's probably going to come back and retest this 96 cent area. I'm sure I'm going to be red on them a little bit, but that is where I'm at on this. Under a dollar is buying years worth of mining assets. And with the focus on getting this project back on the rails and back to growing, gives me confidence to put money in it. And you know, if I just took years of mining or built some years of mining in there, I'm happy with that. You know, I'm looking at, I don't need to get much bigger. I mean, I could get up to 107, and that's a 10% profit on what I purchased today, plus some actually. So I can make $50 on that $500 purchase, which again is another set of mine. Another, what is that going to be? 100 days of mining, 6 months of mining. If I make $50 and reinvest those profits back into more. Into more. So I also have, let's get out of this full screen. Where do we not have my, whoa, sorry about that. That's loud, hold on. TV just freaked out. What the heck? Okay, there we go. Turn that off. So you see, I got my two bots are still going. I did get some profit on that one that had 111 grids when the price ran up here to 120. And I felt that I had a little bit of too much going on with 3 of them. So to avoid them arbitraging against each other kind of thing, I cut down to just 2. And what I ended up doing is I closed that one in profit, and then I bought a whole bunch in at 107 or 108 or whatever, and then I just bought a whole bunch more at 97 cents. So I have 2,375 coins right now. And if you were to try to build that up into the mine, as far as mining, that would have taken you a couple years to build up. And I did that in a week from day trading profits and some small profit trading and such. So I'm happy with that. I like for these bots to be positive. I think I need to. These were both started in the 120 range. I thought that was going to be some support, and I thought we were going to have a run to 140. But there are some people who are losing confidence in this project, or there's also some that are literally just having some things come up that they needed the money for. And I don't fault them for taking advantage of their money in TXC and taking that to ease those expenses. It's very much what it's for. That's the whole point that we do these projects, is to try to make money, and then be able to use that money later. So looking for this price to get back over $1 today would be great. $1 is from what were we last year, would be huge volumes if you go from 1 year on the chart. So let's go and let's do daily. I wish we could take this outlier out, because that was Bitmart doing weird things. But January, what is today? January 11th? January 11th opened at 14 cents. And that whole week it was trying to cross the 20-cent marker. So 1 year has 5x'd its price from that. You got to minus out that outlier, and really you got to minus out this whole outlier as well. We're gonna do vertical, and could argue and say I think this was kind of okay, but not really. But we're gonna even go from there to, I'm going to say, go there. So if you minus out this section in the middle as kind of abnormal market, it was influenced by an event of where TXC was giving Texacoin itself was giving out TXC as part of a compensation promo reward, and there just is not there's not enough uh, organic volume in the markets, and so that created a huge run up. This run up triggered excessive selling because all of a sudden people saw huge money and they started selling, which created this sell off, which got back to where the price was kind of looking to be at. This price range was supposed to move from here to here with a step right here in the middle. So we were supposed to see, this $3 range right here, and then the next spot was supposed to be this 380 organically, and this was not supposed to happen up here. And if that didn't happen, the psychology of the market wouldn't have been so construed in regards to, oh crap, I better sell because I missed it. There was that FOMO of excitement from the euphoria that was here. So when the bump and the nudge kind of happened to test out the $5, everybody who saw this number in their wallet that they should have never seen it, because then they saw this. They said, oh, if everybody else is going to sell at 7, I don't want to miss out on that party. So this one doubled the selling pressure, which created this. And even though there was a lot of buying pressure here that was combating it, and the market was trying to get excited, and there was potential to see $5 again, it just proved to be too much, and ultimately had that big sell-off. So if we come outside and we only look at this, sure, it is down right now, but to get back into a decent level, if this can get within a month or so into this 160 range, it's back on track to moving in a positive direction. Nothing is more bullish than a failed bearish move. So as soon as this thing does find a bottom, like Bobby's talking about, the momentum is just going to captivate this into a big run. There's going to be some positive sentiment returning. People are going to see that excitement coming, and sales are going to come, and the positive sentiment is going to come very quickly. It won't take much to get this back heading north, and we're looking at just these 3 zones that it has to kind of pop over. 130 means 170, 170 means 240 kind of thing, and then it's quick from there. Look, we have 270-ish is going to be another one. 270-ish will be another one, and 312 will be a little bit of one, and then 4 after that. Very quickly it comes up to 4. So there is green sky or greener pastures ahead. You can see them. It is looking like it does want to kind of build a bottom. We just got to kind of establish that. And as supporters of the project, recognizing the value in this is huge. It's something that I've been actually calling for, and I like that somebody else recognized it too. Is one of the things that TXC has been missing a lot of, and I'm going to end the video on this, is familiarity with the project and with the exchanges. Many of these miners are coming in and they're getting their cold storage wallet. They are and they're becoming passive miners. Totally fine. They're built. That's the way that they wanted to get into this project and participate, and that's what they're doing. That's perfectly fine. But what that creates now is an unfamiliarity with how exchanges work, how markets work, and how price fluctuates, and the supply and demand and all. So now that they don't have a familiarity with how they need, if they wanted to go add more, say when they do really like this project and they're like really excited about it, let them get more coins than what they're mining. Back when I started mining last December in 2024, um, we were getting like 50 coins a day, and then now we're only getting zero point 0.4 coins or zero point 0.5 coins a day. So for the people who want to get more coins, there's not a familiarity or a knowledge in order to go to these exchanges and get them. These are the exchanges that you can go to and add more, including Weex, who is US friendly. You don't have to jump through any hoops to get to it, and it's had TXC for a while. TXC trading at 0.294. Added them on Thanksgiving week, and it's still not showing up on CoinMarketCap. But you can see that even it's trying to build a bottom. Look, we're moving up a little bit. So there's another exchange that CoinMarketCap doesn't have, just for example. But any of these 11 exchanges you can go on to and buy. And so one of the things that TXC tried and kind of ended up creating a little bit of a failure, a misstep, we'll call it more, was that they tried to switch from taking the ACH to only taking crypto because the goal was to create a familiarity with crypto. It was the right plan, and it wasn't executed properly, I'm going to say, because what happened was everybody threw a hissy fit and said that they can't get any signups now because they don't know how to do it. The easiest way to sell a mining seat for people to try to get the commission was just talk about the price. Look, it goes up every month. This is great. Look, this goes up every month. This is great. Look, at $7, you should get one. This is how much it is worth now. 3 months ago, I put $1,000 in, and I'm already got $3,000. Whatever, however they sold it was lazy and created. Now people think that they are failing because they got in September or August, and they only have 100 tokens now, or 100 coins now, and it's only worth $1. Where these guys got in and they had 300 coins within a similar period, and at $7, those 300 coins were worth 21. They doubled their money. Holy crap! They're so much better. Why am I doing it wrong? So that created an issue that is now turned into like, hold on, you have to say what the project is. This is a proof of work mining, mine from zero project, layer 1 blockchain network like Litecoin. Is geared to be faster, geared to be cheaper, extremely low transaction fees. They're also at the same time also building a together but separate Downtown Digital Dollars. Very rare do you get a project of itself that is a layer 1 that is creating the first layer 2 also at the same time to make sure that they work properly. Normally layer 2s are completely different people putting on other projects. I have a layer 2 for TXC, but I'm not working with TXC to build my layer 2. So that's why Downtown Digital Dollars is probably going to be very successful, is because they're going to be intertwined so properly, and because they're hands-on with both people. And that's going to immediately create utility for TXC, and any crypto coin that has utility has value. So as people see that there's a utility built in and it's directly from the creators of the coin, that is going to hugely increase the value of that token. So to me, that's a big deal. I don't think people are giving that enough credit. That Downtown Digital Dollars, even if it's a small impact, because it is a niche market, it's gonna work because it's coming from TXC itself directly. Bobby is hands-on, making sure that it is a stepping stone in building properly. Looks like we are holding on and trying to build up this. We just need to clear this moving average, 98.50. So that's huge. I have it layer 2. There's probably tens, 50, maybe even 100 other layer 2s ready to roll out. So there's utility already lined up, ready to go into this network that's going to create more value. That's going to bring this to fruition and make this dollar price range a gift for anybody who's taking advantage of it. I feel calling it a bottom, is probably not the worst hint that Bobby's ever dropped, because if you go from this base to this base, price is trying to build up now, and the excitement should be going forward. Sales already picked up this week versus last week. The writing's on the wall that this survived a terrible, a terrible sentiment change, a huge whiplash. Now people need to really buckle down and learn the project itself. If you don't know the project, you're not going to be able to talk about the value of what it is. You cannot talk about price alone in terms of crypto to sell all projects. I mean, look at Cardano, used to be $1.80 and now it's 18 cents or whatever. Let me check before I say that, because its price has moved quite a bit. Do I not have it on my list anymore? 39 cents, that's what I meant. It went all the way down to 18 cents, I feel like. I don't know why. I feel like I saw that. Maybe it never went down to 18.28. What did we go down to? 33. Let's go to daily. This guy went way down. Look at this. This is a terrible chart. People want to talk about projects that had a huge run up and a huge build. Look at this, was 6 cents, ran all the way up to $3, came all the way back down to 24 cents. I thought it hit 18 cents, so sorry for misspeaking on that. Tried to come back up to $1.30, and it's back down to 30 cents. So this is a very successful project. This one's in the top 25 market caps and is very highly touted and thought of. So why can't TXC be like that? Why can't TXC have the euphoric run up, come back down and find its bottom, and then build? This is the point of what happens in a lot of early stage cryptos. The project gets a lot of crazy hype, overruns, comes back down, finds where its true support is, and starts building. These guys are in a bottom like cycle. You can go to almost any of these. Solana is another one that is probably the king of utility when you talk about crypto projects. And look at, they had a huge euphoric run up, drop all the way down to the bottom. Could you imagine if you bought in November of 21 at $250 and blinked, and you came back in December, 1 year later? Quite the difference. You went from November 21 to November 22, and you went from $250 to $25. That is the opposite of what TXC did. TXC went from 14 cents to $1 in a year over year. Now, this is what happens when a coin recognizes its utility value. Utility creates value. So people saw this at $25 and things changed. The project built up, the usage in that network got stronger, and now look at Solana. Am I trying to say that TXC is going to do exactly what Solana did? No. But utility brings value. Utility does not push value down. Utility pushes value up. So, yeah, there are good things coming, I feel, for TXC to get past this. There is no reason to not get over this hump of this downward trend, find its true bottom. Let's even clear off all these drawings real quick. Delete all. So it hasn't been on Pinex that long. It listed on Pinex October 24th. Let's look at these really fast, and we're going to end on that. Wow, I would think that we are looking at a potential bottom. Touch, touch, and we're touching it again. This is a triple touch reconfirmation of a small uptrend. As we zoom in and see this is an uptrend. This is some selling pressure, but we're in a bullish movement going forward. Some slight continuation. How quickly this could spin if it gets over 175 to over 2, or over 150 to 2. Very quickly. And again, when you're talking about this project, now going forward, as you tell other people about it, you're not talking about price, you're talking about utility. Utility first, utility brings value, the value will return as the utility broadens. So just wanted to show you guys that I'm still buying. I'm not afraid of it. I see the price going up. I see the utility and the writing on the wall. Not trying to encourage you to all run and do the same, but if you are a believer in this project and you see the utility that has potential of coming to fruition, not just in June and October, where Downtown Digital Dollars already has 2 contracts signed before it has even had a full rollout. So there is a strong demand for this. There is a land property owner who has 6 commercial buildings who's willing to take Downtown Digital Dollar payment as rent. Again, this is massive utility acceptance at a very early stage, and you compare it to crypto, that's when the value really ramps up, is as the utility ramps up. So those are some positives coming. Looking forward to seeing the growth along the way. Again, I've been in this project since December of 24. And as much as I wish it was 750 right now, like the path to that path piece that everybody saw, if the sales would have kept going exponentially, would have been amazing to see right now. I don't remember how many coins I have in my cold wall. I'm not huge on the mining. I'm not a big seller. I don't go out and promote this because most of my time is kept up with my other job. I'm a small business owner, and I often am busy, but I have sold to some people. So looking forward to seeing sales return through February, March, April, and we see a sales cycle similar to last summer, where price and sales were rolling up, and looking at this as a bottom would be really exciting to see. So overall, sorry I rambled for an extra 20 or 15 minutes, but the point of this video is utility brings value. Value is probably going to return as utility builds up. So keep an eye on the utility, and that's what you got to focus on when you're talking about TXE. Don't talk about the price. Everybody's going to ask you why the price dropped. You can show them any crypto project. You can go through any crypto project, and you will see a euphoric run up and a comeback, a euphoric run up and a comeback. And the ones that have utility, euphoric run up and a comeback, it's every single crypto. Euphoric run up, flattens out to find a bottom, utility comes and brings value. No matter which one you talk about, they all have it. Initial come out, super exciting. Double bottom, exciting. Look at this one, it's trying to find a bottom. HBAR is institutional adoption, and it's still coming down trying to find a bottom. XLM is right there with XRP. Euphoric run up, bottom. Every single crypto you can show anybody this who doesn't have familiarity with crypto, and show them euphoric run up, bottom, maybe a run up, bottom. This is showing growth and looking like it's wanting to come up, huge run up and holding, because it's got to find utility, and as they find utility, it gains value. So euphoric run up, bottom, utility. What is the utility? Utility adoption now. Back at this bottom, is it going to go back up? It's every crypto. So you can't show them just the price to sell it. You got to show them the utility. Downtown Digital Dollars is not TXE. It is going to be successful because of TXE's involvement, but the Downtown Digital Dollars is just one step. There are an infinite amount of potential layer 2 projects. They just have to decide that they like the network, and the network fees are cheap. Gas fees are cheap, and building the mine, as soon as this thing gets to 100 terahash, it's going to be a strong network, a strong mine that's capable of hosting many layer 2s. And the more layer 2s that adopt and use that network and trust that network for security and confirmation, being a proof of work proven network, it's going to be a contender. So remember that the project is early, and it's looking for utility. And Downtown Digital Dollars is one utility. My token is going to be one utility amongst many. And you will see as more of these guys start jumping on board, that value is going to surge. And after a bottom is found, again, nothing more bullish than a failed bearish move. So a proven bottom where this goes up and confirms a new uptrend is going to be very momentous. So sorry for bouncing all over on this video. A little bit exciting. I wanted to do a couple things. I wanted to show you I was buying. I wanted to talk about the utility. Wanted to give you my spin on the price, on the quote-unquote bottom, and shed some light on what's going on in the world of TXC and my buying. I'm looking forward till tomorrow. We got an exciting week of options, some volatility coming, so be on the lookout for those videos because I'm sure there's going to be some excitement in the stock market next week as well as the crypto market. So we shall see. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you made it this whole time. I appreciate it big time, all the support, and hope everybody is building wealth. Get rich.